Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers, acknowledged today in his meeting with the press before Monday night's game against Cleveland at Pittsburgh. He acknowledged that it very well could be. He used the term, everything seems to be pointing in that direction of it being the last game, the last home game, certainly during the regular season of his NFL career, or his last home game in Pittsburgh. Let's put it that way. Rob, this could be it for Big Ben, finally.
It should have been it last year. Let's just be honest, Chris. I'm dead
Where's
serious.
the love? Where's the sin?
No love.
We're not going to have a, recollect about how great Big Ben was and all that?
No.
You want to go off on him?
I'm going to go off on the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. They're the ones, Chris, who kept him 1 year too long. The handwriting was on the wall a year ago. And they didn't have a backup plan. They should have drafted a quarterback a couple years ago or last year, or whatever you want to do. But they had to have somebody ready. When Big Ben came back and took a pay cut just to stick around, you already knew you were getting a discounted quarterback because he had to take a pay cut to even be on the team. So you knew what you were getting. You weren't getting steak. You were getting chopped liver. That's what you were getting. And you know what?
You're supposed to have Kawhi laugh at that?
Yeah, I know. It could have been right there. And Bill Belichick is famous for what, Chris? Getting rid of somebody a year too early than a year too late. That's what good teams do. The Steelers were in their feelings. They were living on the past. Oh, yeah, Big Ben, you remember that Super Bowl and that one? And you remember when he scored that touchdown he didn't score against Seattle and Detroit? I get it. It's hard to look at a guy who's been around, been a part of your organization for a long time, and not be able to want to cut ties. But you got to move on at some point. The Giants did it with Eli Manning. We could go on and on and on with all the teams, Chris, that have done it. Even Brett Favre played 3 more years after he left Green Bay, and they still made a move. And I get it, but they had a quarterback in waiting. And the same thing when Joe Montana was moved on from. I mean, there was a quarterback waiting. Steve Young. The Steelers, they missed the boat on this. They're the ones who sold out the rest of the team with a half-broken down quarterback and a chance to really do something if they would have been prepared for this. And they were not. I don't know anybody in Pittsburgh who's shocked that Big Ben, has played like Uncle Ben in 2021. Let's just face it.
Craig Melvin.
Kawhi right there. Yeah, could have been Craig Melvin.
USC Chris is like, no, he's not funny.
Yes.
Until he says something funny, I'm not playing any of them.
But that's where I am. I just think the Steelers are the ones to blame, not Big Ben, because, you know, most of the time you have to have the team rip the uniform off. You're never going to admit that you're no good anymore. And he admitted it when he took a pay cut. Okay? Oh, yeah, I'll come back. What do you need? I'll take it. You want to take my money? Okay. Because he knew he wasn't any good. If he was still good, there's no way he would have accepted a pay cut.
Enough! I mean, Rob Parker, you know who you sound like? You sound like the guy who has a job and he's fed up. He doesn't like it. He doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't get paid enough, but he gets paid. And he's tired and he's upset and he's ticked off and finally he's had enough and he storms out, I quit. Okay, so where you going to work now? I don't have anything lined up. You know, I don't know. That's you, Rob Parker. Oh, yeah, of course. Big Ben's old. Big Ben's not what he used to be. Big Ben's no longer one of the better quarterbacks in the league. But what other choice did they have? The guy that storms out and says, I quit without a plan B in place is stupid. Get your plan B set up, get your next job set up, and make your money and take care of your family or your house or whatever you got to take care of before you storm out. And that's my issue. Everybody knew they weren't about to win a Super Bowl or win the AFC with Big Ben. But they had, who you going to throw in there? Dwayne Haskins?
He was
Mason
a top
Rudolph?
pick. He was a top pick. If not, then
Well,
you need to go outside the
He hadn't
organization.
been
Chris,
okay, so where? Outside the organization, where?
what? All
You
I know
gotta
is
give me a name.
all I know is Big Ben. I'm not a scout. I'm not going to sit here and act like I scoured the wires or
You
I made
follow
a
the
trade.
league? There's
all I
one.
know is Big Ben wasn't getting us to the playoffs. I knew that going into the
Actually,
year.
he might. That's the
He
thing,
won't.
Rob. They
He
might
won't.
make the
They
playoffs.
might, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
They're still
it ain't
very
happening.
much alive. And Big Ben, again, I'm not going to sit here and act like he's had a great season. But he's completed 65% of his passes. He's averaging 241 yards a game passing, more than Ryan Tannehill, Mac Jones, more than Carson Wentz, for goodness sakes, more than Teddy Bridgewater, more than Matt Ryan. He's got 20 touchdown passes, only 8 picks. I'm just saying, Rob, and they might make the playoffs. We know the Steelers, one of the best franchises in NFL history. 6
Chris,
Super Bowl rings.
he's got 9
and that's
games
what
this
they
year.
live to do. But
He's got
still,
9 games with 1 or no touchdowns. 9 games.
There's a lot of quarterbacks like that.
I'm talking about Big Ben. I don't want to talk about the also-rans.
But
He's
Rob,
not
he's
that
an
guy.
also-ran. Nobody's saying he is, but I'm just saying he wasn't, like, they had no other options. And here they are with Big Ben, and they might make the playoffs.
I blame them. That was their fault because they didn't plan for this. 4
years ago, they were supposed to start planning?
Yes, you got to start planning.
Dwayne Haskins. The dude ain't mature.
Well, then they should have released him and went after somebody else and made another move,
Until
Chris.
you give me a name, you're just spouting hot air.
No, if I was a GM or if I was in the front office, I'd give you
GM.
names. Who am I, Mike Mayock now? Because I'm on the radio, I should be a GM?
You don't have to be a GM to know if somebody was out there that would be a better
Chris,
fit than Big
I don't
Ben
have the
or
list from
somebody's
before
not.
last offseason, but I'm
GM
telling you.
either, Rob, but there was no one.
Chris,
there was no one.
Would you admit when he took a pay cut, he told you what he was cut rate?
We knew what he was. No, that wasn't a surprise to anybody. You act like that was like a soul. And here they are again, still in the playoff hunt with 2 games left, right? What are you going to say if they make the playoffs?
Nothing, because they'll probably lose like they did last year.
Fine.
I told you last year when they were 9-0 that they were garbage. Didn't I tell you that?
I'll take it.
I told you that last year. They were 9-0. They lost to the
11-0,
Browns.
I believe.
They got
11-0.
demolished by the Browns, who didn't even have their coach. Players were missing, and they demolished the Steelers.
Well, why when the Steelers don't get to the Super Bowl, they're garbage, but when the Packers don't, they got a bunch of division titles. They win their division all the time. I mean,
no,
come on.
I told you about the Steelers were no good even when they were 9-0.
That was a revelation.
It was a mirage. It wasn't real.
Okay, so what? They made the playoffs. This year, if they make the playoffs, that's a success. Everybody doesn't win the Super Bowl. They were not a team that anyone thought could win the Super Bowl going into this season. Most people didn't think they could make the playoffs. So if they get to the postseason, I'm sorry. It was a good year. It is what it is. Like I said, until you give me a name, Rob Parker, you're just spouting a bunch of hot air.